we're going to keep it over to the left, and then we're going to turn to the right, and we're going to brake in a straight line. I'm going to release the brake over the curb. Right, so today we're at Thruxton. This is one of the fastest circuits in the UK. In fact, it is the fastest circuit in the UK. We're now going into turn 1. We're going to keep it flat through here. Oh, just a little bit of understeer, just missed the apex just a little bit. But anyway, we're going to be going into lane 2 here. And this is going to set us up perfectly for when we brake in a straight line, going into what is the first major braking zone. So let's get it turned. There's a little bit of understeer there, just from the front wheel drive. We can kiss a little bit of the curb there, okay, a little bit too much. We seem to jack a wheel. Flat through here, and now this is going to set us up for what's going to be one of the fastest parts of the track. So we're now heading towards Noble. We're going to have a little lift, that's a shame. Okay, we'll go and send it around. Today we're allowed to overtake on either side of the track, and unfortunately that has just put me in a slightly wrong position for going flat through Goodwood, and we're now going to be heading down to Church. So we're going to keep it nice and wide here. This is going to set us up, and this means that it's going to make this corner as big as possible, and hopefully not going to be able to do it flat that lap. You can try again on the next lap. Minimum steering, and this is where you're going to get most of your speed out of the car. So we're going to be going into lane 2. The car's a little bit too far ahead for the slipstream. We're going to keep it over to the left, and then we're going to turn to the right, and we're going to brake in a straight line. I'm going to release the brake over the curb, through the final chicane, and back onto the started finish straight. So this car's allowing us past, that's good. See if we can go a little bit quicker. So that was a 1:35.9. So now for my second lap. Let's see what this guy's going to be doing. That's good, he's allowed us past. So on the brakes again, down 2 gears. Cooked it, too greedy. I mean, just got a little bit excited of what the other car was going to do. Now let's see if we can keep it flat through here. You can just hear there's a little bit of wheel spin. Now we're going to open up the steering. Just kissed the limiter, that was unfortunate, but we're a 10th up on our time from earlier. So let's try and go flat through Noble. I'm going to be going maximum into the second lane, because now this is going to set us up perfectly around here, going through Goodwood. Oh, come on, there's a little bit on and off the power there, but the time is now starting to drop off, which is great. So we're going to be flat out. Let's see if we can get it turned a little bit more aggressively. That's a little bit too much, but in the end we're able to do it flat. The curb's been smoothened off, actually, that's new. That's good, so there's no rumble then, so keep it flat. We're doing 115 mile an hour now, and we're going to get ourselves positioned correctly for braking into the last corner. There we go, off brake. Oh, a little bit too much wheel spin. Maximising the exit, and that's our second lap of Thruxton now complete. So we're a second up, so that was good. Let's try and see if we can go a little bit quicker. So that was a 1:35.9. So now for my second lap. Let's see what this guy's going to be doing. That's good, he's allowed us past. So on the brakes again, down 2 gears. Cooked it, too greedy. I mean, just got a little bit excited of what the other car was going to do. Now let's see if we can keep it flat through here. You can just hear there's a little bit of wheel spin. Now we're going to open up the steering. Just kissed the limiter, that was unfortunate, but we're a 10th up on our time from earlier. So let's try and go flat through Noble. I'm going to be going maximum into the second lane, because now this is going to set us up perfectly around here, going through Goodwood. Oh, come on, there's a little bit on and off the power there, but the time is now starting to drop off, which is great. So we're going to be flat out. Let's see if we can get it turned a little bit more aggressively. That's a little bit too much, but in the end we're able to do it flat. The curb's been smoothened off, actually, that's new. That's good, so there's no rumble then, so keep it flat. We're doing 115 mile an hour now, and we're going to get ourselves positioned correctly for braking into the last corner. There we go, off brake. too much wheel spin, maximising the exit, and that's our second lap of Thruxton now complete. So we're a second of, so that was good. Let's try and concentrate on this lap, see if we can go a little bit quicker. I just wanted to try and keep it flat, but I think the tyres are really starting to overheat a little bit. Come on, let's pass. You can hear the tyres squealing. It's not going to be as quick. That little bit of grass just upset the car, and just needed to release the brakes just that little bit, and we're going to get traffic, I think, in this last section anyway. We'll do a cool down lap. I think it needs it, so we'll come in, we'll check the pressures. The thing with Thruxton is it's extremely quick, and because you're on the power for so long, whether it's front or rear wheel drive, generally everything gets very hot. The turbos get very hot. Obviously this car's not running a turbo, it's just a normal 2 litre Renault Clio, but of course road tyres aren't built for being absolutely blasted all the way around here, so it's very easy to overheat everything. So we've got a mini just coming past. Oh, we thought better of it. Go on, where have you gone? Yeah, the loads on the tyres around here are unreal. So we had a new set on, and it definitely felt like the first lap was better than the second and third, and I think that's just because everything's just getting a little bit too hot. So we'll do a cool down now. You always got to remember at Thruxton, especially at Thruxton, this is the corner that kills it. All of this section, when you're around 100 mile an hour fully loaded, just cooks each block on the tyres. So it's like running wet tyres basically in the dry. A slick tyre around here makes such a difference, it's unreal. So if you get the opportunity to put a track tyre on around here, you'll gain so much speed, especially through that fast section. Little Janetta and McGann going flying by. We're almost completing our cool down lap, and we'll see if we get the opportunity to go again before it rains. What do you think?
Pretty good. It's very much a flat out.
Oh, it is unreal how fast this place is. Like when I used to race here in Formula Renault, we only brake twice. So we brake during the first braking zone, which is turn 3, and we brake for this final chicane. And then you have to be flat all the way through the rest of it. If you're not, then you're going to lose like half a second. And then of course around here, especially in small cars, the toe is so important as well. But it's the same even in the race cars. The tyres generally around here overheat, even with the slick tyre. So your first or second flying lap is guaranteed to be your quickest, and then it'll just drop off and you'll just get slower and slower, just because it's loaded for too long and everything overheats.
Yeah, because it's long old.
Yeah, exactly. So we're flat, well, we should be flat from the lift at Cobb all the way through Seagrave, Noble, Goodwood. In Formula Renault we were flat through there. We're having to have a lift halfway between probably where that arrow is, and then this gets us the car settled to get to the apex. It's not super important to get to the apex, it helps obviously if you do, but it's more about keeping your minimum up. And then ideally I wanted to do this flat, but I was just getting a little bit too much push in the front wheel drive. So and then as long as we're nice and straight for club the final corner, and you release off the brake and you just launch it over the curb, and most cars just sort of swallow that curb, even the single seaters that have no ride height.
Yeah, because you're on the
Well, because you're unloading the inside, it just seems to go up, and it's not that bad. Of course, when you go through the chicane, the curves through there are quite aggressive, but the very first one's not that bad. Want to have a go?
Yeah, go on.